This episode is brought to you by Radio Hot Tub, the only radio station in Portland that plays local bands out of our city 24/7. Find us at radiohottub.com.
Salo Panto, and you're watching Rose City Review.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Right on. Okay, so we're going to start on now? Mm-hmm.
Whenever.
Should we count it in?
Okay. We're...
Rose. No.
Thank you for tuning in to Rose City Review Presents. Today we have special guest Salo Panto. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Did I say that right? Panto?
Yeah.
How? What is the official?
Salo Panto?
At this point, it's kind of like a joke amongst us. There is no real set way to put it. It's just kind of ambiguous.
Whatever feels natural.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, that's
To your regional
I always like
dialect.
I always like the Salo Panto because it gives a shout out to our roots.
It's very Ohio way of pronouncing
And
it.
going hard with the A's.
I always thought it was like the regional thing, but maybe it isn't. But
so Ohio. Tell me about that. Is that what you're saying? Are you guys from Ohio or?
the four of us, except
Everybody
Dave,
but me.
are Ohioans. Yeah.
So am I.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all lived in Youngstown at a certain point. Max is from Cincinnati.
Okay. I was up near Toledo.
Oh, right on.
Right on.
So you guys just
Astronauts.
released a new EP, 5 songs called. It's titled Bait.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like, where'd you record it at? What's the inspiration behind it? How long did it take you?
In August, we started recording at Trash Treasury Recording Studio with Cameron Spees, who's in a band called Night Heron, formerly of a band called Radiation City. And we played with him like a year before that. And we played with him with this other guy named Scott Yoder at the liquor store. And it was just a really fun show. I thought it went well. And saw him out somewhere, and I was talking about us wanting to, we have songs we want to record, etc. And we were just kind of excited to work with him. He's I like his music, and I like, it's not every I guess producer is the word, where like sure, they can be like a great producer, like their engineering skills and everything like that are like way off the charts and stuff, but it's a nice perk if you like can appreciate what they do artistically. So anyways, August, linked up with Cameron. We've been playing the songs for like probably not even a year, most of them before that. They're relatively new songs for us.
Okay.
And they just came together quickly, and got them done. Inspiration, I don't know. It's all kind of like just kind of sponging the world around us, and the songs are about different things. One of them's about Songwriter Coke's about not being on vacation with my family, who was on vacation at the time. The first song, Impatient Machine, is about something I heard a guy say to a automatic, what is it, like self-checkout machine?
Self-checkout at Trader Joe's
at
whatever.
Safeway.
I guess not Trader
It's
Joe's.
kind
Oh, that is
It's kinda
hilarious.
cool.
That makes so much sense now.
It wasn't cooperating, and this guy kind of...
It's always
"Come on."
like,
He's-
put it in the bag. And you're
Yeah.
like, it's in the bag. Or, give me 1 second.
I actually heard him say, "You're so impatient, machine." I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
yeah.
That is awesome.
But, obviously it's not about a person. Obviously, it's not about a guy yelling at a machine. It's kind of like, you can go a little deeper with it. I
Just
suppose.
where the phrase came from, and you can infer from there.
Mhm.
I've always kind of interpreted it, and certainly after it's like taken shape and developed into a song, and I listen to it, kind of like I don't know. We're all impatient machines.
Yes, very true.
People are very just impatient, always in a rush. So I don't know.
Spun into
That's kind of
And even the concept of machines kind of implies impatience, just because like maybe I had to build something to make this faster, like easier,
yeah,
more efficient.
Man, we're just going down a rabbit hole now.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Welcome to Bait.
there's a song about wildfires called Wildfires, and that's like, it's crazy how out of control it's spun. But at the time I wrote that song, it was like the big Gorge fire, like
Mm-hmm.
the Multnomah Falls fire, and like the air was so horrible in Portland. It's
Yeah.
like so bad.
Yeah.
I remember like I had an outdoor patio, it was covered in ash.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? It's mind blowing. So that one, we never really figured out another name for that one. So we're gonna
It
just
worked.
we were gonna just
It cuts.
we are gonna go with something else. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's that.
It works. I don't think you say wildfires in the song either, right?
I don't think
No.
fires is even. I don't think. But it's pretty on the nose for the most part.
A working title that just kind of developed into a title.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really dig the sound. It's like, I don't know, I've been trying to think of a way to describe your sound. It's really like, it's like refreshing and just, it has a little bit of a classic rock sound to it, a little bit of psychedelic sound to it. It's very, it's unique, and I don't know, I really dig it.
Thanks.
Right on.
Appreciate
Big
that.
thing. I was talking to someone last night about this actually. Like, big thing for me is to not ever like try to be influenced by too narrow of a margin of bands. You know, like try to bring like as much as you can to the table. You know, like we all listen to so much music, like so many different kinds. Like, we never want to actually like whatever we have enough songs to say like this is impossible to like not do, but to say like that song sounds like this band's. Like this, obviously a clear influence on like this song, or like it's a clear influence on this other song of ours, or whatever. It's just kind of like try to be like a melting pot of influence and so on and so forth. You know, try to not sound like your favorite 3 bands, but your favorite like 12.
Right.
Something like, you know.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Which leads me, what are like some of your guys' influence? What is something you grew up listening to? And
I think my heaviest influence would be like Neil Young or At the Drive-In.
okay,
But,
nice.
like, coming from those both extremes, trying to put it together.
Word.
Yeah.
Neil Young's, he's a big influence on me too.
Yeah, he's the best.
I'd probably say on all of us here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
the GOAT, you know,
Yeah.
greatest of all time, right now, you know.
What about some other influences? What got you into music? What'd you hear that was just like, man, I need
Jimi,
to pick up my
Jimi
instrument?
Hendrix and the Beatles
Yeah.
and Led Zeppelin and The Who.
The classics.
Yeah, totally.
I was raised on the Eagles, which led me to Zeppelin. It's like as soon as I heard electric guitar, I was like, I want to hear more of that.
Yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of, I don't know, classic rock and Neil Young and Bob Dylan and stuff through my parents' influence. But also, like, a lot of jazz, too. I think that's actually what I went to school for. And, yeah, it was kind of, like, tough for me at first, like, being back in, like, rock bands, which I hadn't, I don't know, like Joe and I played in bands throughout college, but, it was, kind of even more like all over the place than like what Salo Panto's influences, I guess, could be considered. But yeah, so just having to take a step back and not do as much with bass. Anyway, I kind of got off topic. Yeah,
you're
jazz.
good.
I grew up really liking it was the oldies radio station when I grew up, playing a bunch of great 60s pop stuff. I fell in love with that, and then I don't know, music's always been the best thing.
Yeah.
My dad got me into Lou Reed at an early
Okay.
age, which is cool.
Like Velvet Underground, or like
Actually, it was like I had this awesome Lou Reed greatest hits cassette tape.
Okay.
It was awesome. I mean, I loved Walk on the Wild Side quite a bit. I
Yeah.
was like 7.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really getting it. But what a great song. And then just, I got into hip hop for a while. I used to make some underground hip hop
okay.
before I moved to Portland and ended up in the band with these fine gentlemen. Yeah, so just, I don't know, music's so mood dependent,
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
I'm into all sorts of different stuff because I get in all sorts of different moods.
Yeah. That is
But on a
awesome.
big PJ Harvey kick.
Okay.
Anyways,
I've been realizing how much I like Q-Tip lately.
right on.
I think he's like so underrated. He's
Yeah.
not, but obviously like he doesn't really get. He's not really like super active anymore. He just did the newest Danny Brown record, or he like executive produced it. But I'm pretty sure only one of the songs is one that he actually like did the beat for. That is such a badass song. It's clearly like the Q-Tip song on the album too.
Mhm.
Nothing else sounds like it. It's called Combat. It's really good. But anyways, like Madlib and DJ Premier are just like big influences on me musically too. Because like mood and like style, like they like I feel like above, and like obviously like there's other people too. But in hip hop, like they really kind of like made it their own language. Like what they do, like you can tell like very easily that it's like theirs. You know, even like a lot of times Kanye West same way, but like earlier music for sure. But you know that stuff definitely try to kind of like use it, hear it.
Word.
It's really good.
So let's talk a little bit about how you guys came together and became this amazing musician machine.
Yes, precisely. Ed and I moved here like 5 years ago together, 5.5 years ago, and I started like doing, I don't know, I kind of like did a one-man band type, like looping, almost like hip-hop type shows without rapping. It's like playing guitar and like making like beats from a synthesizer and stuff like that. Anyways, it just kind of like kept going and going, and then she was like, well, this is kind of silly to do without a band. Then Max moved here, and we'd already been playing for years, and so obviously that we were gonna pick up from there. And then we had a drummer, and then we had this like, it's so funny. We had a really like pretty decent sized gig down at the Ash Street Saloon, 2014 or maybe 2015, and our drummer quit the band like 2 weeks before the show, citing like over partying as a concern or reason, which is like. I mean, maybe that was true, but he's from a very conservative background, and so like our partying, like on our like slow nights when we were practicing, a couple beers, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Great people, still friends. Anyways, we tried to do the show without drums and like looping like electronic drums, like I kind of had been doing initially, and the ship like sailed. Right, like it worked, but there's just so much missing, like so much energy. And Dave was at the show because we just started working.
He was like, they need a drummer.
Yeah.
I think I heard there was a song we did, Enchilada, and I was watching them play. I was like, I really wish I was up there with a drum kit right now. I was like, I would need it. But yeah, I was sold.
I wish I was just better at kind of like manipulating electronic music like for a live setting like that, because I think when it's done well, there's nothing, no offense, there's like nothing cooler than like a rock band not having a drummer. But it's just I don't know how the people that do that do it well. I just think like this, like the look of that is really cool.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, listen.
But we did it once, and it was like okay. And then we were working together at the time. And he was just coming to the gig, and very shortly after we were done playing, he was just like, look, I can play like your guys' songs.
I can play this.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's no challenge.
So we've been playing for like 4 years, and Pat's been playing for like 2 years.
Damn, has it been
With
2
us,
maybe? Yeah.
But yeah.
It's about that long.
It goes like even further back than that, for like this group and how I think we work so well together.
Yeah.
Except Dave.
Except for Dave. But he's been we love Dave. No, just that just playing together in different projects,
Yeah.
years in the past, and then someone just randomly gave me this sampler, they said, I don't use this anymore. You want it? I said, sure. But I'd hardly even turned it on, and Joe's just like, dude, you gotta be in use it,
That's
man. You gotta be in my band. You'll figure it out.
Use it or you're out.
Yeah, so this whole thing for me has just been the process of just turning into a better musician.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're like
Osmosis, just suck it in off these guys.
Now he's learning to play keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's in the
Starting
works.
to introduce that.
So you didn't start doing any of that until you got
Yeah, not until I just got here and started working with just Joe and his old project, his solo thing, And then Pat's my cousin, and Pat moved here and he's sick. He used to be in this sick band in Youngstown,
Word.
and then he mixed his awesomeness in with it, and then I think Salo Panto really took flight.
Yeah, he really
Right on.
churned our butter.
Yeah.
If you will.
You released an EP in 2017.
Yeah,
that
we
the first one.
well, we have 3 and a single.
The
Which has two-
phones.
The phone single we did in Multnomah Village,
Which
with
is a great song as well.
thanks. We did that with
Sean Gillis.
Sean Gillies.
At a DB Nation.
Okay.
And then the 2020 somethings EP we did in 2017,
That's,
and we did that with LT Page,
In my basement.
formerly of a band called the Yakult Burn,
Yeah.
and we just that was kind of like
awesome.
LT was just we knew him from playing around town, and we just recorded that in Ed's basement. He brought like a really cool like Korg interface kind of deal, and LT's fantastic at everything.
He's kind of
At
prolific.
everything he does, yeah.
Very. He's put out a lot of
Yeah,
music.
a lot of music.
Yeah,
and it's all pretty solid.
much. It's all him playing. Yeah.
The first EP's from 2015 though, and we still play a lot of stuff from it.
Okay.
And we did that one with Eric Crespo, who's in the mighty Abronia. It was like one of Portland's like finest psych rock bands for sure.
Yeah.
And we did that one the night before we recorded that EP. I saw the Who at the Moda Center, and I was so hungover. We started so early. We started like 10, so it was rough. Max, like I was living with Max at the time, and he was like, Did they play this? Did they play that? And I was like, damn, I don't even remember. I was so excited.
Well, you specifically said like they didn't play "Won't Get Fooled Again." They didn't play,
But it
this.
turned
And then like when we talked to our manager at work who went with them, those were like the first 3 songs he said. It was awesome. They played "Won't Get Fooled Again." Yeah.
That was so much. That was a lot of fun. But I remember like never forgetting more about a show that I was that excited about going to. I was like, oh my god, who? But company I was with, they just really went for it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But that was also
As far as
when-
you can remember.
the first half of the show I do remember, and it was great. Bargain Behind Blue Eyes, a bunch of they played great show. But Eric did a great job. I do listen to that one like infrequently. This is
There was
great
a-
memories. It's like the first thing we did.
There's
Yeah.
stuff on there that I forgot about that was like awesome. Like good like there's this really good sample that gets used at the very end of it all. Do you remember that? It's
Yeah, that is cool. We got
I liked that record.
that was like the only thing
Good
that was
ideas.
out, and we got
For sure.
Alex. Do you know Alex Wine?
I'm familiar with him.
He made this list of like psychedelic bands in Portland, and we were like total nobodies, and we like appeared on this list, and it was like, whoa, that's crazy. We were like, how did you even hear of us? Again, we like just had the one EP out, I think, and Alex was like, I found your shirt at Goodwill. And then I looked you up online, and we were like, I guess whatever works.
Yeah.
But that was so funny.
Kind of weird that someone already got rid of one of our shirts.
Yeah.
There's 2 ways to look at it.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
You're just trying to like get any kind of like recognition or exposure. It's like,
That's
oh my
how
god,
it happened.
the last thing you care
We'll
about
take
really is how. But it's like, oh, how? Then it's like, oh, well,
Goodwill.
yeah. That was crazy. We were really just hoping I was hoping oh, you probably came to a show and really enjoyed it and
Yeah.
started following us.
Better than like I found one of your albums in the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must have
was
been a
worse.
cool looking shirt. I mean,
Yeah.
It
They
was.
are cool. Bo, our friend
Yeah.
Bo Lindstrom, made them, and he's fantastic. We have like new shirts that he also did the design for. There's also
Yeah.
kind of like a derivative logo.
It's kind of part of that.
part of it. yeah.
nice.
Bo Lindstrom.
So it's early in 2020. What do you guys have projected for the year coming up?
Oh boy.
I'm working on a tour at the end of March. Like a short tour through, just down to like California and up to Seattle and back. you
Like
know.
a West Coast tour?
Mhm. Yeah, just jump around a little bit. Probably play some festivals. We're working with somebody that has some connections with like Leviathan and Freak Out, and he says he's pretty confident he can get us on those bills. Other than that, just like playing more shows, writing more music. We just started working on new music kind of for the first time in a while at our last practice here. So yeah.
Part of your live show allure is having the projections
Yeah,
over you guys.
Yeah.
Has that been from the get-go? Is it just something fairly recent?
Something that we've been doing for a while. Ryan's actually the second person that we've had do that for us. We used to have a guy named Maxwell Hunter
Okay.
do that for us for a while.
Yeah,
And
that's right. Remember
yeah, I mean, we kind of started doing that pretty early on. I feel like definitely within our first year of playing live shows.
As long as it was ever an option, we did it.
Okay.
Because like there's this
As long as we
guy.
felt like we could pay them.
Yeah. There's Maxwell just like went on to Facebook, some Portland music group on Facebook, and was like, I am a projectionist. Didn't charge an arm and a leg to do your show, and many of our first shows, I'd say at least probably like 6 of the first 10. That's, I don't know, that's a random figure, but yeah,
I'd
it's
say
just
more
like
than half.
if we ever could, we would. It's just because like we've played more shows probably at this point without them than with them,
Right.
because it's just, now that Ryan's kind of like back in the picture, he's got a little bit more of like a. Maxwell had so many other things going on, so it was just a little harder to get a hold of him. Whereas Ryan like works with numerous other bands, obviously in town, and like he loves this is like his main. He'd like to make it his main thing. He works for like the premier psychedelic visual artist in the country. Like he works with the Mad Alchemy Liquid Light show.
Yeah.
Hate to just put his business on blast. Hi Ryan, but yeah, it's really awesome to see him like going and like getting involved with those people, because he's brilliant. Like the stuff he does with other bands, like the spins that he puts on all of the bands that he does. There's like little differences.
It just keeps getting better every time.
It's insane. He did the Abronia album release show last month, and that was like
it's clearly
extremely awesome.
He like clearly takes like the band's music into account. It's like, okay, this is like what I want to do with it. It's not just like here's Ryan Freed doing visuals,
Yeah.
Right.
The music was never supposed to stop, Like, all of our songs have been kind of set up and developed in a way to where they, to where there's a seamless flow of them. And we've just gotten better at that, I suppose, over the years. And and we're pretty loud, So that, and then you add the projections and stuff.
Yep.
And it just becomes this whole sort of like sensory, kind of overload of thing that we're going for, so that our shows are kind of like, and you'll remember them, they're an experience.
Our first show ever was the first time that Ed played the entire show not plugged in at all.
Well, you see,
but it wouldn't be the last.
My cord broke. Just happened twice.
You had so much fun the first time.
Yeah, twice. My cord broke, like, during sound checks before our first show ever, And so I was all bummed out. Couldn't make any sound. I was standing, backstage. It was a house show, so standing, behind a curtain somewhere. And
behind a blanket.
Tacked to the
beam
wall.
or whatever.
And I was watching them play, and we'd worked for months practicing,
Right.
ready, and all this stuff, and saw them out there, and I'm like, no way. And I just went out onto the stage, and my thing still lit up, And we make,
there was just no
even then we make a lot of noise, So there's all sorts of things going on. People don't know that I'm not doing anything, and it lit up. And because I didn't have to be responsible for anything at all, I was able to really get into it.
Yeah.
And like everyone was telling me
Just put on a
afterwards,
show.
like, and it lit up and just getting into it. And everyone told me afterwards, "Oh man, you guys were great. You did awesome." I was like, I know.
Thank you. At the time, Joe and I like both played with loop pedals. We didn't have like a second guitarist yet. So like we both played with loop pedals, and there was just kind of always noise going on that could very much have just come from a sampler.
Right.
Like I had my keyboard that I would like loop things through, and that could have been Ed.
It's a lot more fun to own it than be like, I actually wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't playing tambourine at the first show yet either.
Right.
Which, like, now he at least can.
Now
you can at least
I
do
have
that.
a tambourine. Before I didn't, because jamming with this one guy named Preston, and I shouldn't have said his name because I don't want to put people on blast. And I was playing tambourine, and apparently he wasn't into my tambouring. So he was like, "Oh," and he took the tambourine away from me, and so I was like all like kind of scarred, I didn't want to play tambourine. I felt bad about it. And then we were looking for drummers, this Aaron Sweet dude, we're jamming with him, and he sees me just standing there, and he's like, "Take this thing." He's like, "I can't.
You need a
You gotta be
tambourine.
doing something, man."
It was like, I tried it before, I can't. And he was like, dude, you hit it on these and these. And I was like,
Okay.
He was so funny. It was like, and then it was like, oh yeah, you can totally do that.
And I was like, "Yeah, man." I'm gonna do
Now
that."
it's really good.
He's
Yeah.
incredible.
That's really good.
So I was thinking, where I play it too loud. I get into it, you know.
That is awesome. That is one of the best stories I think's been told on here.
Yeah.